Richmond, and I wanted to share with you one of my favorite AI tools, NotebookLM, with you. I'm going to share with you what is NotebookLM, how does NotebookLM work, why you might want to consider using NotebookLM, and a brief tutorial of how it works. NotebookLM is an AI-powered research and writing assistant developed by Google. It's designed to help users synthesize information, generate new ideas, and create content more efficiently by working directly with your uploaded source materials. I like to think of it as a personal AI research assistant that understands the documents that I share and can help process, analyze, and generate content based only on the information that I upload. Its core functionality integrates large language models, or LLMs, with your personalized documents such as PDFs, Google Docs, web articles. NotebookLM is grounded in your resources. The AI's responses are directly tied to the information that you've uploaded, which reduces hallucinations and ensures relevance. The purpose of NotebookLM is to streamline research, accelerate content creation, and enhance understanding of complex topics. NotebookLM offers several advantages, addressing common challenges in research, teaching, and administrative duties, which can be streamlined. It can quickly summarize long research papers, extract key arguments, and identify connections across multiple articles or resources. It can synthesize research findings from various sources to build compelling arguments for potential grant proposals. It can process interview transcripts or open-ended survey responses to identify themes and patterns. With your lecture notes and materials, it can condense complex readings into digestible summaries for your learners or generate discussion questions based on course contexts. It can create study guides or explain difficult concepts by referencing specific course materials shared. It can summarize meeting minutes, policy documents, or proposals to quickly grasp key concepts. It can analyze your learner submissions, such as essays, reports, but of course with ethical considerations and privacy in mind, to identify common strengths, weaknesses, and provide targeted feedback. You can create a personalized knowledge base from your own research, your teaching materials, professional readings, making it easier to retrieve and synthesize that information. But with any AI tool, we should set realistic expectation and understand the limitations of the AI tools like NotebookLM. We should be aware of what kind of data we can upload. Sensitive learner data, confidential research data, or proprietary information should generally not be uploaded unless Google's terms of service and our institutional policies explicitly permit it for this type of tool. Only use NotebookLM for public domain research, personal notes, or materials that are cleared for such use. NotebookLM does not browse the live internet. Its knowledge is limited only to the documents that you upload. It cannot answer questions about current events or information not present in the sources that you provide it. It's a tool for synthesizing your existing knowledge, not for generating general web research. If the uploaded documents are poorly written, contradictory, or contain errors, the AI's output will reflect these issues. So garbage in, garbage out. You still need to critically evaluate the sources you feed into the system. NotebookLM is an assistant, not a substitute for human intellect, critical analysis, or subject matter expertise. It can summarize and suggest, but it cannot perform original research or make nuanced judgments. You must verify all information generated by the AI and apply your own academic rigor. While grounded in the sources you provide it, the AI might occasionally misinterpret complex details, oversimplify arguments, or miss subtle connections that a human expert might identify. Always review and fact-check the AI's output, especially for academic work. There might be limits to the number, size, or specific file types that can be uploaded. You might need to convert documents or break large files into smaller chunks. Using NotebookLM with learner submissions raises ethical questions about privacy, grading fairness, and the potential for over-reliance, please use extreme caution and our VCSU guidelines before using it with any learner identifiable work. Now let's get to the demonstration. So here I am at NotebookLM.Google. When I'm here, since I'm already signed in, it'll allow me just to go to try NotebookLM. And here will be a list of my notebooks. I've used them frequently, and when I'm done with them, I just delete them. But I'm going to go ahead and create a new one to demonstrate a couple of items. So right away, it'll ask you to upload some sources. You can choose to upload PDFs, texts, audio, etc. You can grab things from your Google Drive, you can insert links, or just simply paste text. So I have a few that I'm going to upload already. Let's do some subitizing. So I'm going to grab just 2 PDF articles, journal articles, and I'm also going to add in a subitizing YouTube video that I've used in class. I'm going to add a YouTube video just so we can see what it looks like when I add in a variety of different sources. So you'll see that the sources are all on the left, and you'll notice that they're all checkmarked. So when I start playing around with the items, it will include all of the information provided from each one. If you only want a couple of them, only check the ones that you want to. The first thing I'm going to do on the right-hand side is create a podcast with the articles. Sometimes this takes a little bit, so I'm going to start that now to see how long it takes for it to create a podcast based on those 3 resources. I see in the middle is where my chat is going to start. So it gives a little bit of a brief overview of what the articles are, but perhaps I might want to say compare and contrast the articles and YouTube video to start the conversation. While it's doing that, on the right-hand side, there are some pieces that I can start creating. I can create a study guide from these resources. I can create a briefing doc or even a facts doc. The timeline is useful if you have articles that have a significant amount of dates in them. And you'll notice now that it created some of these items. Let's just take a look at the study guide and quiz. And then it gives me the answer key itself. When I convert to source, it'll add it as a source. I don't specifically want that, so I am going to remove the source from my list on the left, unless I want it to specifically use it. I noticed then at the inside here that it has started to compare and contrast for me. It's giving me similarities between the articles, some differences between the articles, methodology. And I also noticed that there's these little numbers. It's actually giving me the citations from within the articles or the video for where it's pulling that information from. Perhaps I might want it to ask or provide me with 5 in-class open-ended discussion questions. We now have our 5 questions that we could edit or use for a class discussion. But I also noticed up here at the top that this might be something of interest. I love myself a good mind map. There's this option to create here a mind map of the information. So when I click the mind map, it starts creating my resource off to the right-hand side. But I noticed that it kind of gives me the key components from all of the articles and the piece put together. What is subitizing? And then I can see it continues to build out with everything that has been discussed. And I think this can be so powerful for note-taking purposes. We can download this as a picture if needed. The podcast off to the right is done, and it's created a 17-minute podcast based off of the 2 articles and the YouTube video. What I also think is really interesting within the podcast is it's discussion based. So let's listen to a moment or two.
You know that feeling? You glance at, say, two coffee pods on the counter and you just know there are two. You don't count them, you just see it.
Exactly. That's pretty much the core of what we're looking at today.
Right, this fascinating ability called subitizing.
It is fascinating. It's this uh, immediate grasp of small numbers. It's really quite fundamental, actually.
Absolutely. And to really get into it, we've gathered some really interesting sources. We have a research paper, Subitizing and Mathematics Performance in Early Childhood.
So that's just a brief 30-second overview of the podcast. I find this to be super powerful. You can read about it and now you can listen to the main points of the articles in a discussion based presentation. I have only dabbled a little bit with the interactive mode, but you are able to interrupt the conversation within the interactive mode by tapping on it, allowing your microphone. And as an example, I had done this earlier and I said, oh, so subitizing is like I can see my hands, that there are automatically 10 fingers without having to count all 10 fingers. And they had responded, exactly. Subitizing is like looking at your hands. And then they started changing the conversation with all of the discussion points with respect to that particular point. I wasn't able to determine if there was a limitation to the amount that I could interact within the podcast, but I think that's a really cool feature to be able to incorporate as well. So you are able to share and download the MP4 of the podcast. You could also, of course, upload that into a video software, edit it, of course, input your own discussion within if you wanted to, cut out pieces if you didn't like it, etc., and share with your learners. But I think overall that NotebookLM is a powerful tool for you and your students, especially when we're looking at academic resources and using them in the educational setting. And I hope that you give it a try.